Welcome to the YellBro. I am Jordan, and today we're going to react to. I actually did a video on this already, but I didn't release it because it felt a little clunky. But don't worry, there's more. I have my favorite content creator, Alex Jones, to save the day. Tucker Carlson and his support for JD Vance. And hey, is that a problem? I think Nick Fuentes thinks it's a problem, but I may or may not get to Nick's video. I don't know. Before I get started, don't forget to share support. Hopefully, donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We're in that Discord right now. All pins are welcome, and obviously, everything I show you will be linked in that same description box, including shit like this. Now, once again, Tucker seems to be focused on the whole Israel idea, right? Like, well, what if the U.S. breaks relationship with Israel in some form or fashion, right? Whether it's on policy or something else, you still got a massive amount of problems. I mean, like shit like this. They're still blowing people up in the middle of the fucking ocean. I know people don't care, but like that's right. That's still like devil worshipping style shit, right, Tucker? Or and shout out to Dave DeCamp. Uh, they're still bombing Somalia, continuously bombing them. But for some reason, it doesn't get like the same noise I'm hearing when it comes to like in regards to Iran. It doesn't get the same thing. It's almost like those guys don't matter, or you've been marketed to such a degree that they kind of got you to be selective of what you care about versus what you don't, which to me is a problem for anyone that is claiming to like, I want things to get better. It's like, well, if you skip out on problems like this, like, well, how are things better? Is it better because it's hidden from you? Is your room clean if it's just, your dust is underneath the rug and your clutter's stuffed in the closet? Is that a clean room, actually? No, it's not. Not really. So, yeah, people should keep up on this stuff, and there's more. Right? There's still more. Israel's still fucking up Gaza. Not to the same degree, but they're still fucking up Gaza, which the U.S. has a heavy hand in.
Actually, I think it's about as bad.
I think it's as bad in a different way, in a much different way. So, yes, I agree with you. It is equally bad. It's just done in a different way that's not so overt, where it's, constant bombardments over
You
and
hear what
over.
happened with Cuba?
What's that?
Basically, we're seeing the end of Cuban socialism. They're having to capitulate to the United States' demands.
Like, officially? Like, hey, guys, we're going this direction to not get fucked up by the U.S. or fucked with by the U.S.
Essentially.
Yeah.
They're trying to see how many items they can give Marco Rubio off his wish list.
Well, give me the qualitative. Give me once again, you could say they're going off of socialism or whatever the fuck the idea is, but like, why is that bad? Like, what are the things that are happening that say, okay, that's bad? It can't just be socialism because it's neutral. Socialism is neutral, just like capitalism is, right? It's about how the people use these things, these tools, these systems, these ideas. Like,
The people don't want to do this, but it's either they do this or the entire country just starves to death.
okay, so they have their own country that wants to do something, and someone's trying to stop them from doing their own thing that has nothing to do with blowing people up and shit like that, right? Like the Cubans, as far as they're concerned, they want things one way, and some foreign countries telling them what to do from the outside, and thus that's the infraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that makes more sense to me. I'm looking for the moral infractions. That's what I want to hear about.
Yeah, so basically they're trying to see how many items they're going to give Marco Rubio off his wish list to avoid an outright invasion. Because that has been on the table.
Fair enough.
It's not good.
In fact, I think the argument that Alex Jones makes is when it comes to Nick Fuentes is, hey, would you rather have Marco Rubio? So you should go with JD Vance. Go with him. But as you can see, their logic is blatantly flawed. What they rely on is that the people that are watching, if they go and watch someone else, someone alternative to Alex Jones or Nick Fuentes or Tucker Carlson, they're hoping that they're as bad or dumber. We're probably hoping they're dumber. That's what these guys are relying on. Hey guys, if you go over, hey, go watch Fox News. Guess what? It's worse than us. So thus, we get to survive. We get to live off of selling you bullshit day in, day out, because we're not as bad on the surface as Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. It's unfortunate, but kindergarten psychology works on people. Like somehow in politics, it fucking works easily, like very easily. Unfortunately,
Keeps happening.
what's up?
I just said it keeps fucking.
Yeah, it does keep happening.
And a lot of these policy changes that are going to be happening in Cuba, these are not the kinds of things they can just easily walk back when pressure's off.
Yeah. Now, let's get to this. Once again, there's a hoopla about Tucker Carlson saying, "Yeah, I can't vote Republican. I can't do it." So let's
Good.
hear.
Don't.
Well, the thing is, you can't vote Democrat either, right? You can't do either.
Good. Don't.
But you know, we'll hear it in context. But I have obviously clips ready for the JD Vance part, right? Where it's like, well, isn't he a Republican? Isn't he standing by Trump's side? On and so forth. So without further ado, let's play this Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson clip talking about Tucker's announcement of, I guess, I'll never vote. I'm not voting for the GOP because these guys suck. Let's hear it. Here we go. Holy fuck. Alex Jones is so fucking corny.
This question came in from Pug Holder, and it says, Tucker, you say you're leaving the Republican Party. Will you commit to not supporting J.D. Vance when he runs for president? Well, I mean, I know this a lot better than Mr. Neocon, Israel First, Marco Rubio. Another lady, Dina Ria, says, will he please help us start an American First party? How do we better position 2028? We need someone who actually gives a damn and is willing to make massive changes in the Fed, stay out of endless wars, etc. It seems, unfortunately, like Trump has a stranglehold on the GOP. Seems fruitless. I think that's why you're saying you're leaving. But maybe I'm too pessimistic, says Money Printer, go bruh. I got a bunch of other ones. Let me ask you this way. What do you mean by you're done with the Republicans? Obviously, you don't think you're endorsing the Democrats. What are you saying here? Is this like when Joe Kent resigned to draw attention, to get them to course correct? Or well, here you are. Yes. What does Tucker Carlson say?
I mean, as usual, I don't have any kind of plan or grand strategy. I've never had that in my life. I was asked a question and I answered it directly. And the question was, can you support this? And of course not. I mean, I can't support the Republican Party in its current incarnation for the same reason I can't support the Democratic Party in its current incarnation. They have the same views. They have the same views on the big questions, on the economy and foreign policy. Trump, over the past year, has been essentially indistinguishable from Chuck Schumer on the big issues. And again, just to restate, the big issues are how do you manage the economy, how you decide who gets the wealth and who doesn't, and how do you manage your foreign policy? Where do you engage? What are your priorities? And on those questions, which are the questions of government, with all respect to the trans debate, okay, those are the big questions. They're in lockstep. And I didn't want that to be true. I thought that Trump was an option to that. I thought he was a third option. I supported Trump in 2024, not because he's a Republican, but because he was not a traditional Republican. That's the whole point. And that's why everyone I know supported Trump, not because he had identical views to the Republican Party leadership. He had very different views. And I thought those were the views that were going to be enacted into law and policy, but they weren't.
Now, once again, you have evidence of that makes sense in the first term, right? But we already had a first term where he didn't break from the traditional neocon-like Republican Party. He didn't break away from that at all. I mean, in fact, he followed
put the
suit.
shit on steroids and human growth.
Yeah, he was just doing what they were already doing, basically, in his first term. So what made you think that... And he said all the crazy words of campaign rhetoric. He said all those things during his first run, too. So what made you just believe him now? It's like, it just looks like phony as fuck. It looks phony as fuck. If you're going to apologize... Real quick. If you're going to apologize for the Iraq war, you should apologize for boosting this fool, like being this stupid somehow. But I think we're going to hear about JD Vance at some point where it's like, huh, now how does that make sense? That sounds like you're repeating the same mistake again. But go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say, I think the only thing we need to bring up here is the fucking text messages that were put out in public as part of that lawsuit against Fox. Tucker was fucking sick of talking about Trump. He said he despised him with a burning passion.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing a little larger. Say.
Okay, I heard of that. I heard of that before.
Yeah. So just after reading those, I know that he's full of shit, and that there's nothing he says that we take with respect to Donald.
Oh, your audio keeps like cutting in and out, Joe. Just so you know. I don't know if that's your microphone or some shit.
Probably. Been having problems with it lately.
Okay.
Point is, because of those text messages, we know Tucker's fucking bullshitting us when he talks about this. There's no reason to believe a single word he says.
Yeah. I mean, even without that idea of him being full of shit, he has such a level of incompetence, apparently, about picking leaders out that it's like, what's your use here? I guess be moral support, but we shouldn't be listening to your advice on what we should be doing politically at all. I mean, you just keep getting things wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong. And listen,
well, let's think of it this way: it's been what, 5.5 years since the end of Donald Trump's first term.
Basically, yeah, I guess.
If he couldn't figure it out after that, then he's slow to realize these things, which makes him dangerous.
Well,
and that's at best.
You can't be like,
at best, he is a fool.
You can't be like, oops, I hired John Bolton. Oops, I hired Elliot Abrams. Oops, I hired Gina Haspel. Then go to the next term and be like, oops, I hired Marco Rubio. Oops, like, you can't just keep doing that. Just you're limited with your oopses, if you will, your whoopsies. Like that's ridiculous. At some point, it's like, man, I'm the idiot if I keep going this direction. At the very least, it's like, Tucker, you're either too dumb or you're full of shit and corrupt about what you're doing here. In my humble opinion,
he's dumb, which makes him dangerous.
Yeah.
Or he's lying, which makes him really dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one is worse. Actually, no, fuck that. I am sure worse.
I would think the liar's worse, in my opinion. Someone purposely trying to trick people. Yeah. For me, that's the worst one. At least there's something salvageable if someone's just like ignorant about a topic, right? But like this level of ignorance, like, goddamn, you should be nowhere near a microphone. You should be doing something else.
Willful. Or maybe he's both.
Yeah. Hands up, man. All questions are worthy towards this motherfucker right here, and also the person he's talking to, Alex, and the person that responds to all this, Nick Fuentes. For me, all questions are open. Like, they should be questioned to the nth degree based on their shady past behaviors. But let's give them room. Let's hear if Tucker says the thing, the JD Vance thing, where it will make no sense of, you can't support the GOP, but you can support JD Vance? That makes no fucking sense. Let's hit play. Here we go.
And instead, the views of Mike Johnson, a person for whom I have no respect at all, those views became dominant, the Mark Levin views. So, like, why would I support that? I would never support that. Why? Because I'm an American and I want what's best for my country. It's that simple. I'm not being paid by anybody. And I'm not being told what to say. I've got a bunch of kids. I want the country to continue in a recognizable way. And
well,
I don't
totally
think the Democrats' ideas will allow that.
So, and I understand it's just a gut level thing to say, hey, I'm not with this, because Trump's with the Republican establishment more than ever.
Yeah, because everyone's imprisoned in this binary. And that's the whole point of it. That's why they emphasize the trans stuff. The trans stuff is insane and it's disgusting. It's anti-Christian. But why do they emphasize it? Maybe they created it for this reason, to create the illusion that there is this massive fight between the parties, when in fact, on the big issues, they are in lockstep. There is no meaningful difference on economics and foreign policy between what this administration has done by and large and by what Chuck Schumer would do were he president. Sure, now, I hope that changes.
Sure, it's like
by the
abortion
way,
used to be.
Good.
All right, so he's saying that there's very little differences. Let's think about why that is. Okay, Tucker?
Well,
certainly not because of secret international communists or some stupid thing like
that. Well, let's be like, Tucker, that's been there your entire life. It's like, man, you made it so far without knowing that. It's incredible. That's incredible, especially when like that's your job. When I assume you break free of these guys, I broke free of the normal GOP and the Fox Newses of the world. I broke free from them. I'd expect you to like do at least some research, I guess, like a little bit at least, as you made wealth off of those guys, right? Republican Party, the Fox News, they paid you very handsomely, so you're doing pretty good for yourself, right, financially, which means you have time to go research stuff. And you're telling me you're just now getting here? Oh my God, politicians lie when they campaign. Oh my God, what a revelation, Tucker. Thank you for finally figuring that out. It's like, when I see that, it looks so fucking phony. It looks phony when that happens.
If this guy lost all his sponsorships, all his AdSense money, and pretty much any other advertising deal he has, he's still sitting pretty for at least 2 full years.
Well, he already inherited wealth too, right, from his family.
Yeah,
so he's already
top of that.
Rich. And it's like we're waiting for you. Get the fuck out of here. And they almost present it as in a way that people should be waiting for Tucker, or Alex, or Nick, or one of these other commentators, Candace Owens, Cenk Uygur. They're waiting for like Jimmy Dore. They're waiting for these names to figure it out first before people start moving on it. Like that's such dumb fuckery to me. It is what it is. But
Alex Jones is not there for sure. I don't think Tucker is there, like because
nobody is.
Well, if you with Alex, he's been telling us forever. No matter what he criticizes, he'll say, "But the Democrats are worse." So, like, he's still strongly on a side, right?
Yeah, at least now. His past rhetoric was different, but right now, yeah, he is essentially in that lane. Like, hey, man, we need the Republicans to win the midterms, which is probably not going to happen. Right? Probably not going to happen. But
unless they just try to fucking steal it, which is a question. Personally, I think they're going to try.
Yeah. But all right.
Actually, while we're on this subject, did you hear about what happened in Colombia?
Oh, the election? Yeah, I heard some stuff.
Yeah,
some stuff
there's
about
some major fuckery going on there, and it's probably connected to the Republican Party over here.
Yeah, potentially.
Although, so if they're willing to do that, I don't put it past them to do it here.
Yeah, and both parties, mingle and overseas elections, wars, whatever. They both done their duty, if you will, in foreign countries. Yum yum yum. But
I don't remember that guy's name, but shout out to what's his face who kind of let that slip on Fox. Something Woolsey, is that his name?
I thought it was a lady. I don't fucking remember then, but we're well aware of the U.S. interaction in foreign elections. But all right, let's keep it rolling. Here we go.
It becomes a football issue, so they can act like there's something to disagree with, but on the main issues, it continues on. So what are you advising people to do? I mean, still good Republicans that are America firsters, support them. Don't support
I'd support good people, and if they call themselves Republicans, that's fine. I'm just saying, or if they call themselves Democrats, that's fine. Try to think clearly. Here's my point, to the extent I have
hurt Alex's feelings.
Try to think clearly about what's good for your family and good for your nation, and factor out the irrelevant things like party identification or peripheral issues that don't have direct bearing on the future of your kids, and try and think clearly about what your real interests are and who opposes them. And I'm just saying, I don't care how many times he goes on Fox News, Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House from Louisiana, opposes everything that is in your family's interest long term. And that would include territorial integrity, immigration. That would include the strength of the U.S. dollar, the economy. And that would include whether or not your son or grandson gets killed fighting a war for Israel. It's that simple.
Where'd God go, though? I don't get it. Where's God in this?
Why would we support that? And I don't care what name you call me or what name you call yourself. I'm a conservative Republican. I'm part of the Liberty Pro-Jesus Caucus. Really? Show me how. Like, we should demand a little bit more, I think.
He's just getting here.
Doc
What
Bigley
the fuck
here,
is this?
and today we're going to get to know our...
Okay. Skip. Holy AI video.
This looks like it should be a parody.
I mean, it looks like a parody where they're making fun of gay frogs. That's my guess. Wait, is the video over? Is that the entire video? That's the fucking video. What are we doing?
This looks like shit that we did almost ago.
He's fucking hawking these weird advertisement thingies. Whatever, okay. We'll keep it moving. Add more videos, don't worry. Won't be let down here with 5-minute ads from Alex Jones in an 8-minute video. Let's keep playing. Here we go. Now they're going to bring up more of Mark Levin, hopefully JD Vance. If they don't talk about it in these clips here, I will just play the clip itself. Let's hit play. Here we go. Alex, you're corny.
Since you mentioned Israel playing victim, it's got a whole bunch of nuclear weapons. It's way more wealthy per capita than we are. It's basically using our money, won its wars, but now it is on a delusional power trip saying Greater Israel publicly, all of Lebanon. We can show the map of Greater Israel, a whole bunch of Saudi Arabia, a whole bunch of Syria, a bunch of Iraq. This is parts of Egypt, delusional. And then you got Mark Levin in one of his recent shows, when he's not saying, you listen here, Tucker, with your little show. You think we're going to let you operate? You watch, buddy. Well, he sees now you're vindicated and they're now behind the 8-ball. But here he is talking in a brief clip about little Israel and any Republicans not supporting whatever we say to do. You're bullying us while we primary your members of Congress, and while we brag, we run your country. Here he is.
I want to say to people in and out of the administration, stop trashing, smearing, bullying the little state of Israel. Stop cozying up to and telling us that the enemy regime in Iran is now more rational,
it's so
more moderate,
interesting.
And
isn't that an interesting thing? And I see why people get pissed off, but don't be abused by. Listen, when people get genuinely like pissed off, you're susceptible to be abused. Let's just be honest. With ideas, with psychology, people can abuse you in those scenarios. Let's just be honest about that. So I understand why people are pissed and on one hand, Israel is this mighty nation that can defend itself and all that stuff. And on the other hand, they're the victim at the same time. That has been the narrative from these type of guys like Mark Levin or even Netanyahu, less so Netanyahu himself, right? Because he's the president or the prime minister. So he's trying to project that, yeah, we are powerful and strong. We could do this. We could do that. We don't need the U.S.'s permission. We don't need their money, right? He can project that. But to Americans, they'll appeal both ways. Like, hey, look how rugged and tough Israel is, but also look how innocent and sympathetic and vulnerable they are too. See? It's like a weird thing. And I see when people see through that, I see why they get pissed off. Once again, those things you get pissed off about, there could be once again, Alex Jones or Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, or Candace Owens walking into your living room and saying, yo, you should do this now. While you're vulnerable, while you're vulnerable and angry and upset and chaotic thoughts are going on in your mind. And then you get abused at that point. Like, that is worthy of looking at, guys. Your mind, guess what, is worthy of being in the conversation. It shouldn't be left out. It should be almost at the forefront, in my humble opinion. But let's hear this guy that, I don't know who would like this guy other than 80-year-old, motherfuckers across America somewhere. All right.
Some Israeli real estate.
All right, let's play. Here we go.
Regime that we can deal with. When just a few months ago they slaughtered 50,000 people, they're still hanging young people today.
It jumped to 50? Jesus
if
Christ.
They had a nuclear missile today.
Wasn't it 40 last week?
Country as sure as I'm alive.
Yeah, first it's 40. First it's
I don't know what's going on.
40, now it's 50.
But if people think they can bully a little country, a people that have existed 4,000 years, through the Babylonians and the Persians, through the Romans and the Third Reich, into surrendering their defense and their decision on how to secure their country, they got another thing coming. I think it's outrageous. When we used to see the Secretary of War, and the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Daly, here on Fox, tell us of the fantastic marriage symmetry between our militaries in defeating this enemy. I'm really appalled by this, and I hope it comes to an end sooner than later, because it's not right, it's not just, and it's not truthful.
So now we don't stay in a war.
Once again, we just know Mark Levin. He's a blatant liar. He's a blatant, like, lying motherfucker, bro. At least the character he plays on TV is... We're aware. You're a liar, bro. It is what it is.
He's a sad little baby guy.
Let's hear their response to this. There we go. Or actually, let me just reset real fast. It's lagging a bit. Just a tad. Here we go.
Because it's not right, it's not just, and it's not truthful.
So now we don't stay in a war. They sucked us into that they started, that they lobbied. We're bullying them. This is ass backwards, Tucker. Then I want to just finish up on Israel dovetailing. The NDAA, the marriage that he just talked about of our military and intelligence, the whole 9 yards. It's in the Senate intelligence bill as well. And then Netanyahu calls this getting away from our money because they'll co-own our weapons. This is really an attempted Israeli coup through law that's really a treaty, Tucker.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. And I look at Levin or whatever he calls himself, and I feel sad. I mean, look, the spoiled child always hates his parents. The ones who abetted his grandiosity are always the ones he blames. This is exactly what happens when Christian Zionists tell Israelis they're God's chosen people, they're special in the eyes of God, which is absurd. It's not a Christian understanding of reality. It's just not true. We're all people, all created by God. We're all fundamentally equal in God's eyes. At least at birth, chosen people. It's absurd. But if you tell people like Mark Levin that for their entire lives, they become what a spoiled child becomes, which is this very recognizable combination of fragile, preening, self-hating, hating other people. I mean, that's exactly what you get. And we did that. And we did that by funding Israel, and Israel's supporters in the United States did that by flattering Israel and abetting all of their worst instincts. It's like your kid takes his diaper and smears crap on the wall, and you're like, that's art. How do you think that child grows up? You think that kid grows up to be like balanced, well-adjusted?
No, an entitled psychotic.
Exactly, an entitled psychotic. And we did that. And I feel guilty about that. By the way, I didn't do it, but I watched it happen. I said nothing because I don't want to deal with it. But I should have been wise enough to know this is what would result. Of course, we're going to wind up on the brink of nuclear war, right? Of course, because we created this attitude. And of course, they're a threat to us, which they are. That resentment is 100% real. Mark Levin hates the United States for Trump's statement last week.
Well, he said he hates Trump. He said he hates Trump, and you've warned Trump that they hate his guts.
Alex is still doing protection
before this started. These are
so okay. In words, once again, I understand why someone will be like, damn, Tucker, he's on fire. I get what he's saying here. But if the end result is I like JD Vance, he should run for president, and I'd vote for him, that kind of gives you the logical kind of arithmetic of things, where it's like, hey, how are you with this guy while this shit is happening, while this guy's also there? It's not like JD Vance is some guy on the internet screaming at the top of his lungs, like trying to, hey, we should do this, we should do that. He's in the fucking White House. He's there. He is there. So
yeah, I hate the stupid corrupt Republican Party so much that I'm going to vote for the number 2 guy in this stupid corrupt Republican.
If even by like the way Tucker talks and his standards, which is just rhetoric, apparently, JD Vance should be talking so much that. And I know they brought up the idea that he can't be fired, right, as vice president. Well, like, he should be almost like talking like, hey, you should want to fire me. That's the way JD Vance should be talking. But he's not doing that.
Well, they can't fire him, I don't think. But they can certainly throw him on the bus.
Yeah, but like, shouldn't JD Vance be like almost not exactly like saying I want this to happen, but more so like the idea of like, he's asking for it, he's begging for it, essentially, by saying these words out loud. Shouldn't he like be like that? But he's not doing that. And once again, rhetoric got you fucking nowhere. With Trump, with your past votes, Tucker, where has rhetoric gotten you? if you're the legit guy on the service that you claim to be. Like, where's the win at for all this? And we can't take shortcuts. We can't be lazy about this because, as we understand, people fucking get murdered for this shit, right? And your idea is, hey, there's a God guy out there judging our moral actions. So you can't stay silent, and you can't be a do nothing, if you will. There's something that needs to be playing a role somewhere, and if the idea is of supporting JD Vance as part of the answer, that makes no fucking sense to me. So we got some work to do, and I don't know how or why Tucker will be held up as one of the minds of our times while giving mediocre answers like this. Like, what do I do? If the JD Vance thing is accurate, right? I didn't watch the clip yet. Just in case we don't see it during these other clips here, I will play it, right? But to be fair, I haven't seen it yet, to be fair to him. But if he says anything in the realm of, yeah, man, maybe JD Vance is the right thing to go, the right direction to go into.
Which clip are you talking about?
I have a clip on the side of the discussion between Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson where there's more of at least in the caption, there's an explicit statement of, I support JD Vance, and I would vote for JD Vance, which once again, using, I don't know, moral arithmetic, psychological arithmetic, makes no fucking sense, logically. Based on what he's saying right here, right? It makes no fucking sense. 0 sense.
Oh.
So we'll have to find out.
We actually got a little snippet of what JD Vance was telling Donald Trump to do, closed doors with regards to Iran.
Well, is it the Axios thing? That's so untrustworthy. There's just no chance I trust that. Is it Axios? Which one are you talking about?
I don't remember who published it first, but basically JD Vance was telling Trump to hit Iran fast and hit them really fucking hard. Basically, lightning strike. Yeah,
get in, get out. That's Joe Kent's argument too, which for some reason is being held up as a good answer. I'm like, but isn't that still devil worshipping warfare?
Yeah, the fuck? That's still an act of war against a country that's done nothing.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Joe Kent was in favor of all the actions that led up to the bombings in Iran, and they're like in favor of all of them. I assume JD Vance is the same way, which sounds like more so like they're playing politics if they change their takes all of a sudden, if they change their perspective on it.
Problem with it.
And it's like, well, hey man, I thought God was number one, not my country or my government being number one or my friend being number one. I thought God was number one, Tucker and Alex.
Country was number one. We wouldn't fucking.
You know what I mean? The apparatus, aka the country, I guess. But all right, let's play. There we go.
Trump that they hate his guts.
Now, I told Trump before this started, these are your enemies and they're luring you into a trap. But whatever, I'm not. I'm a podcaster. I'm not in control.
Well, I know this. And I'm not going to play the clips. I'm sure you've already seen them. I played them
I don't have fans.
At the World Jewish Conference, and then at this conference that Levin and Huckabee, where Huckabee says he wants to live in Israel and all the rest of it, and he thinks Trump will fire him any day. They had Gentiles get up and say, I'm a goy, and you're superior, and I'm lucky to serve you. And then Huckabee in another speech is like telling the young Jews, you're the rulers of the world. And then they had the major CEO up say, I'm a goy, and I serve you as your minion, and we must censor everyone that doesn't accept that you're superior. I mean, I'm not obsessed with Jews. I'm never, but literally the sect of Jews that think they're God now has this cult in our government, and they're coming and licking boots on TV. What the hell is this? Have you seen those clips?
It's exactly, and it's what happened after the George Floyd hoax. You see these white liberal ladies washing the feet of kind of confused looking black people. Like, what are they doing? What are these white ladies doing? Oh, you're a holy black person. It's like not treating other people as human beings, treating them as demigods, which they're not. They're just people like you and me.
I'm a holy black person.
Telling them they're special. Again, if you tell a child this, the kid becomes a psychopath, as you said. So this is something that we did, and I feel bad about it. But no, they are not the chosen people. I'm not the chosen people, and neither are you. We're people, okay? And we do our best to conform to God's will.
You're all chosen.
People of different religions, but anyone who says God loves us most or only us is deranged.
Well, I mean,
and
if Michael Jordan,
say that's deranged, that's not true.
Exactly. If Michael Jordan, at the peak of his success, he's an amazing person, said, I am the chosen one, I am superior, you'd say he needs to be put in the room. This is bizarre.
I'd say you're a great...
Whoa. Did Alex Jones just go to a basketball argument? Because we all know LeBron James has a tattoo on his back that says "The Chosen One" on it. Was that a LeBron? Did LeBron catch a stray right there? I did not expect that one. That's crazy. That's like Michael Jordan go out there saying he's the chosen one. There's a basketball player that said he was the chosen one, basically. Damn, bro. God damn. Alex be watching these basketball video essays on YouTube, apparently. Where'd that come from? He's probably watching that shit this day, whenever they recorded. That's hilarious. Okay, fine. Here we go. That's hilarious.
It's not true.
Exactly. If Michael Jordan, at the peak of his success, he's an amazing person, said, I am the chosen one, I am superior, you'd say he needs to be put in a rubber room. This is bizarre.
I'd say you're a great basketball player. Or I'd say to Israel, it's really cool that you built, fields in the desert. Like Israel's done some cool things. I don't hate everything about Israel. But to tell Israel you can do whatever you want and we'll pay for it, and when other people criticize you, that's their problem. They're the haters. Genocide's okay when you do it, but bad when the Nazis do it. To tell them these deranged things and then finance the whole thing for decades, of course you're going to wind up with Mark Levin and Ben Gvir. Like, what do you think's going to happen?
And
that's exactly what we're watching.
Now, if you go with that assessment and leave out the idea that the U.S. may view them as like, hey, they actually are a strategical partner in the sense of, we can do our creepy shit through you. You can do creepy shit through us, and we'll work together and make this creepy shit happen. Like, I mean, that seems quite plausible of a thing, where it's not about making them feel so good about themselves because of their religious beliefs. It could actually be straight up like, hey, you guys do dirt that we like you doing. We like that shit, and we'll do dirt for you, and you'll like that shit because we're teammates. We'll say, hey, we'll call up Saudi Arabia, let's do some fucking dirt too. And they'll say, hey, guy over here, let's do some dirt here. Hey, Ukraine, let's do some dirt over there. On and so forth. Like, but the context they're talking in is almost saying it like it's like, oh, it's these radically inclined evangelicals that just so fervently following a literal reading of the Bible that, hey, we must support Jewish people no matter what. The Israelites or whatever the fuck, we must support them so strictly because that's how Jesus comes back. That's what God wants. I don't think that's entirely the case. I think the dupes are more likely the religious guys, and the gangsters are the actual ones pulling levers and pulling triggers left and right and making things happen, in my humble opinion. So, once again, you get rid of Israel as a strategical partner in the Middle East, guess what? You're still stuck with the same devil worshippers that occupy office right now, that are willing to blow people up, destroy people's lives, domestically and abroad. Like, you're stuck with that stuff. So, that's why I hate the way they go over this stuff.
If Israel disappeared right now, they would have another partner in crime by tomorrow.
Well, they already have 50, 60, 70 other fucking partners in crime already. They're already there. Yeah. They're already there. It's just they don't get, once again, hey, how come Israel does all this stuff and no one notices? Huh? How come they got away with it for so many years? Well, guess what? You better add like 50, 60 fucking countries to that list of people doing things in government that no one's paying attention to, that they're getting away with, and the U.S. is supporting it. That's there already.
Pick four random countries that have like vicious authoritarians for leaders. Any four on the planet. It is a statistical guarantee that 3 out of 4 of those people are backed by the United States to some degree.
Yes, and backed by the apparatus. Not regular Americans, not them. The fucking government apparatus. Those motherfuckers. The actual gangsters in the room. Those guys work with other gangsters from other countries to do gangster shit around the world. And I think even a little bit darker than the idea of gangster too. I wish it was pure greed. I wish it was, but I don't think it is. Actually, I don't wish that, but you know what I mean. I wish it was as simple as they're just greedy and want money. I wish it was, but I don't see that, man. I think there's something a lot darker behind this, and the diagnosis of where that problem is in the fucking psyche, clear as day to me. And unfortunately, that apparently it's not even like second fiddle. It's fucking like 10, 20 rows down psychology for the average viewer of politics. It's like way the fuck back there, as like it's not even relevant. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. In fact, I get pushback most of the time from whoever, people in Discord or commenters. I get pushback for this idea of psychology not being like, hey guys, our minds. It's not like the thing of why people do what they do. Isn't that like the realm we should be dealing with? Say, no, man, we got to get money out of politics, or we got to, take down the celebrities, or, whatever the idea. Like, yeah, but you can easily replace these guys with another, in my opinion, malevolent style, like, garbage psyche, like mentally ill, polluted psyches taking over. Because you're
taking money out of politics would be an excellent start, but there has to be follow.
Well, there has to be a purpose behind it, because guess what? Corruption can work in money in politics or no money in politics. It can still survive either one. It survives both of them, actually. That's pretty blatant.
Shit's a hydra.
Yeah. They actually go at the actual psychological disorder that's happening in real, like, go after that. But that, once again, is like 20 rows back. It's unfortunate, but it seems to be the case. But all right, let's keep playing this. It's probably over soon because Alex plays fucking 8-minute fucking ads. There we go.
Say we'll just come control your Congress even more, and what it is a giant deranged psychotic baby with nuclear weapons. And Ben Gvir, I think, is the archetypal Jabba the Hutt, Baron Harkonnen caricature of that.
Hi, folks. I'm Dr.
And there's the ad.
Wasn't about Ben Gvir, but we made that joke forever ago.
Yeah. Shot the Bill Bar. Got them. So I wonder if this video's more explicit. It looks more explicit. When it comes to Tucker Carlson and JD Vance, or his support for JD Vance, which once again, if he says, you know what? I'm on team JD Vance, makes no fucking sense. It's the same as saying, fuck Biden. I'm voting for Kamala Harris after she was just vice president for all these years, doing the same shady shit. And honestly, no pushback, no fight against the administration that you're actually in, right? You're actually in. You're the number 2 person in all of this. And somehow you get, I guess, like, well, he's not president, so, he couldn't do anything. Or she couldn't do anything because they're only vice presidents. Like, guess what? They can fucking talk out loud and say, yo, where this administration's going is bad. It's dog shit. It's bad. We don't need you to protect Biden's feelings. We don't need you to protect Trump's feelings. We want the fucking truth. And that's it. If you're not doing that, you're falling short. So thus there's no logical reason based on the way Tucker's talking here of like, we need a radical change here. It makes no fucking sense. Let's see what he says. Here we go.
Well, will you support JD Vance? I think he's great compared to Rubio.
Obviously, he's great compared to Rubio. Obviously, look, I'll support the best person. I always have liked JD Vance enormously. I think he's really smart. He's in an impossible situation. I think he's doing his best. I strongly disapprove of, obviously, as I've said 100 times, of this war and of what.
Oh, I love how Trump and others have been blaming Vance when he's volunteering to go stop it, when internally it's confirmed he tried to stop it just like you did. I love how the guy that was right, he's the bad guy now, and the war is his fault.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are selling it.
Yeah, if you have brains, you know what just happened right there. You could smell it a mile away. Once again, kindergarten psychology of comparisons of say, hey, well, at least he's better than Rubio, which is not a big measure at all, right? Then also adding in the idea like, well, he's trying his best. He's doing his best. I'm like, best is go along with it and say some words here or there. Okay. That's what best means? For real? Okay.
I thought Tucker was saying that he changed. Like, I see him doing the same thing. It's just for different people.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, he's more more agnostic when it comes to Republican Party candidates. I guess he's more skeptical of Republican candidates. But you know what? JD's a good guy, and he's doing the best he can. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like it's like, once again, if you're trying to read through the lines of like what's actually being said and the logic of it, it's like this is insulting to the audience. Actually insult, like he's saying like you guys are stupid and you'll accept little like pleasantries of words versus actual substance. Because you guys don't want substance. You want pleasantries of, hey, well, he's a good guy, you know, I can have a beer with that guy. He's a good dude, you know? Versus like, meanwhile, what's on the line is people being blown to smithereens. How about you in your own home being fucking bankrupted? That's what's being talked about. But apparently, hey, he's a good guy. You know, we played softball on Sundays and, you know, barbecued every Sunday too. It was amazing. Good person, good guy. Yeah, that's what they're treating you as, right? And if you fall into that category, I'm gonna call you stupid too. Like, sorry, I'm gonna call you dumb. If you fall into that line with that shit, that line of thinking when it comes to what these guys have apparently socially responsibility over, if you fall in the line of like, well, he's a good art guy, you know, he has a nice smile, he's a good guy, talks straight, shakes your hand firmly, he's a good dude. If you rely on that shit, bro, I'm gonna call you stupid too. As much as these guys are calling you stupid without saying it, without calling you directly stupid, right? So, all right, let's
If somebody falls for this, I can't help.
Yeah, we'll try. Well, I'll try to help, but like only in the sense of like saying what I think out loud. That's my sense. That's my sense of helping. But like, if you get caught up in this shit, like, what do we do? Like, what do you want people that can see beyond it? Like, what do you want them to do? Oh, you a good guy now? Like, what do we do? Yeah, he's a good guy, but you know, he just got that thing wrong. You know.
If somebody falls for this at this late date, I have no choice but to assume they just want to be lied to.
Well, got the lead. I think he's there too, on ideas at least. And you know what? Hey guys, it's too late in the day. I can't get in the way of that. If Joe or Ed or whoever is like, yo, you guys are lazy as fuck and you don't actually care about this stuff. If they said that to you, like, what can I do? I have to get out of the way. Like, yeah, let them have it. Pause. Let them fucking have it. Something's got to like shake you up at least a little bit. You know, something's got to do something for you. But yeah. All right, let's play the rest of the clip. Was it 40 seconds left? All right, here we go.
Been blaming Vance when he's volunteering to go stop it, when internally it's confirmed he tried to stop it just like you did. I love how the guy that was right, he's the bad guy now and the war's his fault.
Oh, it's the people who tell the truth who are punished. It's the people who try to do for selfless motives the right thing who are punished. I mean, that's what evil is.
You said God would have to appear to you for you to run to president. So should we all pray that Jesus appear to you and tell you to run for president?
Oh, I don't want to run for president. I do want to be involved in offering an option of some kind. I don't know what that would look like, but it's not democracy when no matter who you vote for, you get the same result.
Okay. And yes, in my humble opinion, Jesus would never come to Tucker and say, run for president. I think he'd say, quit politics and do something else. Give your riches away and do something else. I think that's what would actually be said, in my humble opinion. But that's, you know, woo-woo world, right? It's different territory. Once again, painting over the logic of the scenario, we have it, right? Of JD Vance and where he's at circumstantially and on the surface, like where he's at socially, essentially, right? Then you have Tucker here and Alex painting over that guy and saying, like, well, he's a well-meaning guy who, you know, better option, you know, really hard worker, doing his best to make things better, right? He's putting all these kind of superlatives on top of JD Vance when the logic says, like, no. The logic of the scenario says no. Hey, here's this Trump guy doing horrendous shit that these two guys are calling. They're saying he's doing it on behalf of a foreign country. And you have the guy who's second in command for that, sitting back and not saying a fucking peep about that phenomenon. the phenomenon that these guys believe in. Now you tell me, how are they doing the well-meaning thing, trying their best, but also not mentioning the thing that you claim to be the scenario that we're living in? How is that possible?
Well, will you?
I hit the space bar by accident. Like, how is that possible? How is he the guy you kind of want? Like the at least the intention of the guy you kind of want, but the results are just nothing burgers, nothing. How do you hold them up at the same time? And it's usually vague language like that of like, oh, he's a good guy. Trust me, he's a good guy. He's the guy that you want to marry your daughter. You know, like these cliche statements to make you to tell you that they're a good person without detail of it. But what did he do? He is vice president. Everything he does on a policy level is public. What has he done? Actually, there's one thing that wasn't on public, right? The
I don't want to
Yemen.
JD marrying anybody. Thanks for that.
Well, like the Yemen bombing. Remember that, Joe, with the signal leaks, right? Mm-hmm. Where this guy was sure he said some words of like, I don't know about this, but when it happened, like, yeah, good job, God bless America. It's like, well, what happened? Well, you blew up apartment complexes where you probably killed who knows how many innocent people to catch one guy. Okay, that's I guess. Hey, man,
that's also another thing that just keeps happening to us.
What's that?
They level entire buildings and potentially entire city blocks, all just to get one guy that might or might not be there.
But wait, Joe. Trump complained that Israel was doing that in Lebanon and in Gaza. The U.S. would never do that because Trump complained about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how stupid do you think I am at that point, right? Like, how dumb do you think I am to like sell that as a narrative after we've seen evidence of the opposite? Like, and that's what these guys like. Once again, either they're so, deep levels of incompetence for being a commentator or a journalist or a podcaster and having the access of resources that these guys have, and this is what you came up with? JD Vance is a good guy because he's a good guy. You could just say that?
My memory might be a little rusty just because of how long it's been, but isn't this the kind of thing that Alex Jones used to complain about Obama doing over and over again with the goddamn drones?
And Bush. Everyone until Trump, apparently. It seems like, from what I've heard. Yeah, he's the 9/11 guy, the anti-government, they're in cults, the fucking
Moloch.
Yeah. the Bilderberg groups and all the, right, the elites. Meanwhile, like, Trump will do like a speech at Davos, right? An opening keynote fucking speech at Davos, and there's nothing said about it. It's like, oh, Trump's just like getting them in line. He's putting them where he wants them to be at. He's controlling them, not them controlling him. And it's like, we're here. So it's like, once again, people will probably have an idea or a belief that Tucker Carlson is full-blown genuine. Alex Jones, he's off the reservation. I already understand this guy's full of shit, in my opinion at least. But Tucker, people have like a view of this guy being genuine and being legit. Like, well, based on the logic of what I hear him say and what I see him do, based on the idea of him being legit, his actual recourse for doing the right thing is to quit and do something else. Go find yourself somewhere. Go bury your head so deep in a Bible that you find the fucking keys of life. Then come back to us. Otherwise, JD Vance, after all we've seen so far, and that guy's right there next to the dude that's doing the horrible shit. And let's be real, JD Vance is a part of doing the horrible shit. That's your answer? And you can't, hold on, Joe, hold on. Because you can't do the, I'm just a harmless podcaster thing. Like, we know, you have millions of fucking people watching you. You fucking know that, dude. So you can't be like, I'm a harmless podcaster. Guess what? You are moving minds, most likely. Well, they're moving themselves, but they're trying to follow you the best they can. So you can't be like Jordan Peterson saying like, I don't have any fans. I don't have any like fans. What fans? Like, dude, we know millions of people show up to watch your clips or watch your videos. Like, don't lie to us like that, bro. You know what's going on. You have a sense of reflection, some sort of influence, reflective style relationship with the audience. Like that's there. It's obvious. So no
parasocial, Jordan.
Okay, better word. Parasocial. Yeah, better word. But it's there. Like, so you can't just say, "Hey, hands up! I'm just a podcaster." You can't just do that either. But go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say there was a brief period of time 10 years ago when JD Vance was getting some attention for calling Donald Trump Hitler.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard, or a Nazi or something like that, right? Something
no,
like that.
he used the name.
Okay, I've heard about it. I never saw the clip.
Like I said, this shit's almost 10 years old.
Well, it's worthy of conversation, honestly, because it's like, hey, why'd you think that? Like, what's the real answer? Why'd you think that, and why'd you change? But instead, we get like, once again, bland, lukewarm political fucking talking points of like, well, I look more into the man and I realize he's a good guy, right? That's probably what he said, right? I don't know.
My view of that is, all right, JD, James Donald Bowman, because he insists on having 4 different fucking names for some reason. You called Donald Trump Hitler 10 years ago. Outside of the fact that he's far more naked about it, the shit that he does, Donald Trump really isn't that different. So, are you friends with Hitler now?
Well, there's that logic. Well, actually, someone should ask him that, but he'll probably brush it away and use, once again, they call it marketing and PR, but it is psychology at the core of it, right? To where it's like, well,
if somebody gets within shouting distance of him and does that, they're probably going to be shot.
Probably not, actually, because he'll have an answer. He'll be like, where are you from? Oh, you work for CNN. Oh, you work for MSNBC. Okay, you're a lefty-leaning, rag or news corporation or some shit like that. And if they're not from those places, they don't get to ask questions, right? You can't be like, I'm from Joe News here. I'm from Joe News. JD Vance, why do you...
shit that no cable anchor has balls to say.
Well, yeah. It's going to just be brushed away. And the audience will accept it. They will accept it. It's unfortunate, but that seems to be the case. To where, once again, if you call someone Hitler or a Nazi or you're such a bad guy and then flip on that should be a drastic... I mean, you should have it's so recent in a way that you should have a full-blown dissertation of why you changed on that person or whatever the fuck. You should have an actual detail-by-detail explanation, but people don't ask for that. They just want to hear, like, well, listen, I talked to Trump, but we had a couple beers. We talked it out, and you know what? Things are better now. Like, they just accept that. People accept that as an explanation for, I don't know, their social reality. They accept that. I'm like, we're so fucked. We stay there. But, all right. Do I play the Nick one? Do I play the Nick one? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I guess so.
He gets 10 minutes to make his case.
Maybe less. I might cut him off before Alex cuts him off with ads. Well, actually, it's Alex's video. He's just using Nick's video as hey, how dare you, Nick? Or we disagree, Nick. Let's hear it a bit.
Nick.
How dare you in Chicago, Nick? Huh? All right, let's play this.
Cost me the midterms in Chicago.
Chicago 11, the gay district. You fucking cost me. I could have won that shit. Jesus Christ. Thanks, Nick. Thank you for that analysis.
No more Catholic catboy parties for you.
All right. Let's apply. Let's see where Alex goes here. If it's so trash, I'll just cut it off and just end the video, but let's find out. Here we go. God, it's...
Getting to Nick Fuentes. I mentioned this earlier. Nick on Monday after Tucker says he's leaving the Republican Party. Well, that doesn't mean you're not ever going to support a candidate here or there. So that's kind of a straw man. But he did predict that Tucker would come out for Vance. Well, I didn't know he'd done that. I had Tucker on.
Right.
Yes, and I said, well, what about Vance? He's way better on the war, and he's not a neocon like Rubio. Rubio's very well spoken, but I'm really worried about him. And he said, no, I'm still going to support Vance. And not just Fuentes, but a bunch of the leftist people said, look at the hypocrite Tucker. Oh, now he's back with Republicans. No, he's not. And just because I've been mad at Trump for over a year and saying he can be 25th Amendmented, next time he says Iran as a culture will cease to exist. They will never return as a people. There'll be one giant glowing crater. Those are statements.
Yes.
I said if he keeps doing that 25th Amendment, that's genocide talk.
Right.
Now he backed off of that. The point is that engaging is a good thing. And look, Fuentes can say he's not going to vote Republican, he's not going to vote Democrat. Sit it out. The Democrats, I still think, are decidedly just as bad. The Republicans are overtly controlled by Israel more than the Democrats. The Democrats, in reality, are as well. I really think you should look at each candidate and know who they are and support America First Republicans and then not support people like Lindsey Graham. What do you think, Rex?
I think it's time to demand more from our political class. I think us on the right, we've traditionally done that. I mean, you look at Trump coming to power.
All right. Got to pause that. It just didn't work. Anyways, that's his kid, I believe. Rex Jones or something like that. But Nick saying, like, it's so weird the way, like, political bubbles work. It's quite interesting. Where there's always these announcements of, this is the first guy ever saying this. I'm like, meanwhile, it's like, no, people were saying this shit already for a while now. The things about Trump were said for a while. The J.D. Vance stuff was said for a while. Even going back to Nick's ideas of J.D. Vance and the quote-unquote technocratic style thing of the Peter Thiels and the Palantirs and the Google and the Elon Musk and all that stuff, that was already being said years before Nick was saying it, but in certain bubbles, certain guys get the credit, and they make it that way for some reason because they're here to trick you. Hi, audience. How you doing? They're here to fuck with you, most likely. It's very unfortunate. But do you really want to, like, view yourself as the dumb guy in the room? As the person being tricked? The John? The
Jordan,
Mark?
did you get my shaboing boing text?
That's a crazy statement. That was crazy. You just fucking just said that like that. That was crazy. I don't know what this liar... Sorry, YouTube. I have no idea what this liar's talking about.
Did you get the shaboing boing text or not?
I'm here to hear other liars like Alex Jones, not this other liar in my Discord right now.
Oh, my bad. Are you doing a video? I'm sorry.
YouTube, there's your further proof that all opinions are welcome, including lying liars like this. Anyways, moving back to this. See, I forgot what I was going to say because you bring up shaboinga-boings. Like, trash. How dare you? Whatever. Let's keep it moving. There's more of Alex Jones lying. And more protection. Oh, sorry. Okay, I remember now. The Nick Fuentes thing. The Nick Fuentes thing, like, where he... Once again, Alex is saying that on purpose, in my humble opinion, to the audience, on purpose, to let them think or believe that Nick Fuentes was the guy that was on top of this topic off rip. And as Nick craps on people like Whitney Webb, right, who are saying this for, just by my things I've seen, from her to Corbett to Derek Bros, have been saying this for a while now. But Nick will also take credit from them and say, like, no, these guys are idiots. These guys are whatever they want, whatever he wants to call them. These guys are trash. Trust me instead. And they create this little, like, bubble thing to where you get led astray by some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the internet. In my humble opinion. Let's hit play. I'm sure I know, guys. Nick is smart because he talks fast. I get it. But the substance is lacking. Let's hit play. Here we go.
First Republicans and then not support people like Lindsey Graham. What do you think, Rex?
I think it's time to demand more from our political class. I think us on the right, we've traditionally done that. I mean, you look at Trump coming to power in 2016. That was basically a referendum on the Iraq war, right? So I think in that same spirit now in 2026, we have to come forward and say, who is going to be our champion? Who is going to represent us? More importantly than that, who can we trust? And I think it's about people that have made the hard decisions to do things that are very uncomfortable. I take Joe Ken at that. I take Thomas Massey at that. I take MTG at that. And you know what? I'm harshly critical of Vance, and I do not support him.
Mediocrity.
But him coming out against the war, him being especially being used as the envoy, as the messenger, as the man in negotiations. And being blamed. Well, the thing is, like, he's taking enormous political risk by doing that, and I think that's proof in the pudding that he wants that job. You can see Rubio up there, mum's the word with Rubio. He doesn't move his mouth. He's using his giant ears to detect alien life on other planets, right? You can look at him. He's angry because he wants war, he wants death, he's very upset. You can look at J.D. Vance, whether it's a profit motive or whether it's real, I do think he wants the war.
Well, that's it. The Israel lobby has already said, we're done with Trump and Vance. Our new golden boy is the Ferengi ambassador.
Right. And he wants to play dictator in South America, and they'll let him do that.
Yeah, so it's not a lesser of two evils. It's survival here. We're going to vote Gavin Newsom. We're going to vote I think Mondami's running for president. No, I'm not voting for Mondami. I'm not voting for Newsom. And people say, oh, well, you're just going to get...
Mondami can't run for president.
That didn't even make sense on a... I don't know the technical rules. Maybe he's not old enough. I don't know what the fucking idea is. Sorry, he wasn't born in America, right?
Born in the U.S.
Yeah, he wasn't born in America.
Choose your Republican to survive.
But still, even on the service job, I'm like, I wouldn't even expect that, to be honest with you. I thought AOC would make more sense than Mamdani.
Wasn't born here, so what's that matter?
Anyways, yeah, we just wouldn't even expect that. But all right, here we go. Like Alex Jones is as unhinged as ever. It's hilarious. My favorite content creator. Here we go.
It's not a lesser of two evils. It's survival here. We're going to vote Gavin Newsom. We're going to vote I think Mondami's running for president. No, I'm not voting for Mondami. I'm not voting for Newsom. And people say, oh, well, you're just going to get screwed by the Republicans. Well, the Republicans are going to screw me with some lubrication, not with a cactus.
I think what's important to realize is that Trump isn't running in 2028. We're going to have Rubio, Vance.
I agree. We need to move on from Trump. That's why I think I'm not glad he went.
You can't vote for him. He's done after this. What do you mean move on? Like, he's moving on, not you. Get the fuck out of here. It's like
he literally robbed you and he's moving on. And you're like, yeah, we got to move on. It's like he's like trying to he's already broken up with you, moved out of the house. It's like, I got to move on.
I wasn't fired. I quit. Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, geez. Like, have some dignity, man.
Well, this guy's
embarrassing.
He's such a fucking liar, in my opinion. I left him alone for a bit because, you know what? Fuck you, Trump. Like, he didn't say those words, but like, he was like moving that direction PR-wise. Whatever. Fuck it. Whatever. Fuck it. But once again, the things I was saying when I was watching Alex Jones, like, it's holding up quite sturdily. It is there of kind of a passive way of saying, work towards this direction. Republican, GOP, J.D. Vance. Trump is not the bad guy. He's just caught up in something. He got tricked by someone, something like that. He's still on the same tones. But once again, Alex Jones is easy to see through, in my humble opinion. Even from the regular person watching, easy to see through. Tucker, though, it smells like people have some trouble with sniffing out that guy. Pause. And I'm like, hey, if they're going all in with J.D. Vance, how does that make sense logically if Tucker had a revelation of how bad the GOP is? Like, make that make sense for an audience.
He's blaming everything on Israel, so people love that.
Yeah, but how does that make you go for J.D. Vance as an answer? That makes no fucking sense at all, logically. But people will do it somehow, apparently. Okay. I was curious about the Nick Fuentes parts, but I guess it takes some time to get there. Just to play. Here we go.
sideways, but it's a healthy side effect of the going sideways that we can demystify this guy.
Think about how the 2024 Democratic Party was shattered. Think about how their coalition was broken, and think about how they have been able to rebuild somewhat because of the failures of this administration.
And they've come back pure commie.
Yeah, and we have to demand more, because the thing is like it's really a douchebag behavior to come out to your electorate and say, hey, we didn't do any of the stuff you voted for. We didn't do no new wars, didn't do low inflation, didn't bring American jobs back, didn't do mass deportations. But hey, you still have to vote for us because we're better than the Democrats. Well, if that's true, it shows your coalition is weak. What are we? Are we?
Yeah, but Rex, the political class, the neocon rhinos, they want you to take the ball and go home. We got a 96% let me finish. Shut down on people coming across the border. We got a lot of internal deportations. Then the riots got so bad that Trump calculated to fully pull back. And so, okay, so
Alex hates his own fan base. In fact, when it comes to ideas, he hates his own fucking son too. What Rex said is what a lot of people believe. A lot of people have that sentiment about like, hey, what's the fucking point of this? If these guys are screwing us over anyway, like, what's our point here? And Alex is like, no, actually, listen. Immigration has been amazing. There's no trans people around anymore. We got rid of them, and Infowars.com. I'm sorry, AlexJonesLive.com. Had to switch domains there. So it's like, it sounds more so, once again, not agreeing with this kid, but he sounds more like what people sound like on the internet, as far as like just simple ideas of, hey, they're screwing us over, look at this, and Alex coming in, doing a cleanup job, like Dave Smith did for what's his name, Jeremy something, Kaufman. Jeremy Kaufman was like the same like cleanup job style thing happening. And Alex has been doing that for a while now when it comes to Trump and the Republican Party in general. Let's be honest. Yes, he can bash, Lindsey Graham, but like the average Republican, he has to actually protect him in a way. Good.
I know. I was going to say, actually, Dave Smith also did that for Judy Vance recently. So,
and that's
like his video from 2 days ago.
Megan, no, is it? No, right? Something else.
A different one.
Okay.
A different one where he was kind of talking more explicitly about JD Vance. So,
look at
saying
that.
like kind of but kind of saying what the other guy was saying, like, oh, he took a huge political risk. Like, this is,
And they've been selling that on the internet. It's been working, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's been working.
Yeah.
Like, JD Vance is really against this war. He's fighting against Trump right now. Like, no, he's fucking not. Is that what fighting looks like to people? That's fucking nuts. Saying words out loud that don't really exactly directly affect policy. It's kind of just rhetoric at this point.
So this is what Dave said, from what I remember. He said, it's a huge political risk, and it's not like JD can and Trump actually can really go fully against the Israelis, because then they're going to have to say, you guys are killing babies, and like then that's taking too harsh of a stance. Like then you can't come back from that. So like, he's giving them some grace, I guess. It was some mealy mouth thing. Yeah.
Wasn't that the Jimmy and Tulsi thing of like, hey, she's got to lie to get this job. It's okay. She's like, it's okay to lie right here because she has to get this job to help save America somehow. It's the same kind of logic to me, and it's like, this is interesting. I'm gonna have to give that a look.
Yeah. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
How are we here where people are supporting JD Vance? Like, why is he in the position he's in right now? Like, he was. This is a never Trumper who became his vice president, and all of these things were placed where they are. Like, they're like, why would that give anybody confidence that this is the person to drive things? It's just. It's very manufactured.
Well, it's quite interesting because they laid out the logic of Kamala Harris is just Joe Biden because she was vice president for him. So she's basically the same thing. And that was a reason to not vote for Kamala Harris. She's just Joe Biden. But now it's okay apparently to be the vice president for this guy is doing these horrendous things according to their own calculus of politics, right? And also, I want to bring this up too. I think it's worthy of questioning. Of hey, what if? Hey, yo, listen, JD, come in here. Listen, you're gonna run for president soon, aren't you? If you are, man, we should like start the campaigning now. So you know what? We'll do like good cop, bad cop. Like I'll look bad to make you look good because I ain't running again. I'm done. I can barely spell my name right now. Listen, we'll make sure that you look good at the end of this, so we have a future of Republican politics, right? So thus, I'll play the bad guy so that you can play the good guy, and that will work because we disrespect the intelligence of our audience, of our populace, of our constituents. We'll disrespect it by doing that. And I view that as a distinct possibility. Because I don't think these guys give a fuck about you. In fact, they might even hate you at a certain point. When it comes to like regular people, American or not, regular people across the world, yeah, I think these guys have in a way, a quiet disdain for you. Quietly. But, I don't know. I guess we'll let Alex go.
It was a good Trump voice, but you made him sound too lucid.
Sound too what? Lucid?
Lucid. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the Right to Repair video, and I played an intro of Corbett Report's video of Trump talking about it. Yeah, man, I knew a lot of guys. They were mechanics. They're very bright at mechanics, but really dumb in school. And anyways, and I had an egg salad for sandwich today, and for lunch today, and like, yeah, like who's Corbett's like, yeah, whose grandpa is this talking shit like this? It's making no sense, bro. I'm exaggerating, but it's like it was kind of ridiculous. Oh yeah, a lot of guys very bad in school, but very good at fixing cars. But all right, let's keep going. Let's hear where if they get to they should the Nicky boy sippy cup Nicks portion. Here we go. Pause.
I know what Fuentes says, and I get the point. I don't agree with it overall. You let the Democrats win the midterms. Generally, that gives the next Republican a better shot.
Right.
But then Fuentes is saying he's not going to be for Vance. Vance is clearly out of the Republican field the only guy that's half decent. Now I would support RFK Jr. as a Republican.
I'm sorry. That should blow someone's mind that like, hey, whoever wins, the other team has an advantage because they'll do so bad that it gives the other team an advantage. That should be so telling of a logic, but for some reason not really looked at. Jimmy said it for Republicans. Hey, if we let Trump win and all this stuff and say fuck Hillary and protest her, when Republicans get into office, it'll look good for the Democrats because of how bad Trump and his type will be in office. And the other side is saying, Nick Fuentes is saying, hey, if we let the Democrats into office, it'll look so bad for them that it'll be an easy win for Republicans in the future. Like, that should be so fucking telling to the audience and to anyone with a brain cell.
This is really weird. Can I just say, so Dave Smith said something similar today on his podcast, the video I put down, where he was saying that in a way, it's almost better to let the Republicans lose so that they don't think that Trump has all this power over the party. Like, just like to let the Democrats come into power so that they know that like the Republicans are like rejecting this, this way of governing, basically. Just interesting.
Well, it's
like similar line.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That logic is like, if all the voting is kosher, it's all clean and shit like that, right? There's no rigging or anything like that. That strategy is like how we're here in the first place. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So it's like, but I guess like people forget that was the case or something like that, and they end up supporting these fucking idiots. I don't know.
It's like a revenge thing where it's like, oh, you're not listening to. Okay, you know what? Like, okay, we're gonna let the Democrats win. We'll show you, and it's like, why are you guys all saying the same thing? Like, am I in fucking La La Land? Like, I don't like. The messaging is just very on. I guess they're all on the same, either on the same wavelength or like in the same group message. I don't.
Same group message.
Like,
actually, St. Clair had this whole crazy tell-all that she did on Crystal Kyle.
Who's that? Say that again. Who did that?
Ashley St. Clair.
Okay. Yeah, the Elon's
Yeah.
Elon's BM. I view her as a little bit sus for me personally too. Just personally, just on the influencer style thing going on.
I'm not saying trust her
That's fair
implicitly, but things that she was telling Crystal Kyle,
yeah,
they line up a lot.
it would make sense, but like, I can't help but hear that like that type of stuff, and go towards like, man, is that a play itself? Is that a play on its own? Like, what's going on with that? Like, where does that lead them to? And how can that be potentially, once again, on the psychological level, which is not the most important, but like, I mean, a heavy component in regards to like why people do what they do politically, right? It's like, man, if you can spin a narrative from all that and do something with it, like you could lead people right off a cliff again. I'm like, yeah, we need to like halt everything. Like, hey guys, we're all saying stop. Let's now examine every fucking thing we can get our hands on. Nothing moves until we figure this out. I want to see that, but
what you're saying is we need a complete shutdown of podcasts.
I need a Michael Tracy moment. Shut down all podcasts because they're so dangerous and they're solving the Epstein stuff. And oh my god. But all right. Let's hit play. Let's keep it moving. Here we go.
Careful now. Fabulous.
Serial fabulous. All right, here we go.
I know what Fuentes says, and I get the point. I don't agree with it overall. You let the Democrats win the midterms. Generally, that gives the next Republican a better shot.
Right.
But then Fuentes is saying he's not going to be for Vance. Vance is clearly, out of the Republican field, the only guy that's half decent. Now I would support RFK Jr. as a Republican or Tulsi Gabbard over Vance.
Well, I think it's the RFK Jr. model. What happened with RFK Jr.? He runs as a Democrat. They're not going to let him win, so he drops out, runs as an independent, and then 1 out of 10 people in the country say, hey, I'm going to vote for RFK Jr. I think we can carry that forward, and in the same way we had a referendum on the Iraq War in 2016.
Yeah, I mean, I think RFK or Tulsi running as a third party will pull from Republicans, not Democrats.
Well, I think they should run as a Republican.
Alex sounds like TYT, and his son sounds like, wait, what about a third party, man? We could do that there. Like in words would sound more genuine than Alex Jones. That's quite interesting, but it's not about them. It's just quite interesting that they might pull votes from the Republican Party, and if Republicans win, or sorry, if Republicans lose, I'm going to fucking jail. They're gonna put me in jail, put me in handcuffs. We can't allow it to happen. Meanwhile, it probably wouldn't happen either way, right? What's the play? Here we go.
Of course, and hopefully win as a Republican. But if if they're up there and Rubio and Vance are able to play games and keep them from getting that nomination, they should run as independent.
Yeah, sure. Well, all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, third-party candidates act like parliamentary spoilers in our two-party system. Our system has problems, but it's the best system there is compared to the parliamentary manipulations you see everywhere, where groups with 15% approval rating stay in power.
He's Sam Cedar. He's Majority Report.
Look at Netanyahu.
Yes.
Look at Keir Starmer and Labor. Look how they keep AFD out in Germany. I mean, the parliaments are a joke, okay? They were the first system after Kings, and then we got our system, and I'm sure something better can come. When somebody explains it to me, that's great.
He wants the two-party system. Okay, got it. Thank you.
That is insane, right?
He wants it as is. Yeah.
Okay. Isn't he a guy that has been, before Trump, screaming for years, like, hey, it's a two-party system, and they both work for the same thing, right? Yeah, he just said it, right? Didn't he? Or actually, it was Tucker who said it. But that was Alex's thing, too, back in the day.
Alex has said that before.
Yeah.
But it's like his imagination is so fucking stunted that he can't think beyond anything outside of that. Like, I don't know, maybe it's the meth blue. Like,
it's not even, it's not a matter. This guy, I think, is on the corruption level of things.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying, it's like if that's not the case, then like I don't know, I don't know what to say.
The 9/11 was an inside job guy is now telling me we need to hold up a two-party system in politics. That makes no fucking sense based on what this guy has said in the past. That makes no fucking sense. I mean, and it's almost like his kid, the Rex guy. Not saying I know, right? And everyone should be skeptical of everyone, but in regards to politics. But his son sounds more like, I actually took your word serious, Dad, and I'm holding to it. Hey, this might be something. You can't just hold up the two-party system. You can't just, hey, why if if JD Vance is legit, why can't he just run third party? Who cares if he takes votes from Republicans?
It's going to
They
take
both
from
suck
the
anyways.
from there.
Yeah, it's like quite interesting. Quite interesting of a dynamic, but I'm still
like he's quite literally everything he's doing is exactly what people say about two wings of the same bird, where they have the same strategies, the same tactics. Like you're doing the thing.
Yes, literally two sides of the same coin.
Literally.
Whatever way you want to put it. That's been something that Alex Jones has complained about in the past, and it was like very conspiracy, genre conspiracy, like laced. And now he's like, listen, we don't want to take votes away from Republicans right now. We don't want to do that. Like, what? You're a 9/11 guy, bro. What happened? But once again, he's transparent as fuck to me. I just find him and his son's dynamic quite interesting. It's almost like the son took his past words as reality. As like, hey, I'm gonna follow what I know you to be as like, this is my dad. This is what he says, right? Politically. And Alex is like, you know what? Listen, we got to grow up one day, and when you grow up, you realize vote Republican. So you got to do that.
Yeah. It's a sign of maturity to choose one of the wings of the same fucked up vulture that's like predatory.
Exactly.
That's an insult to vultures.
So
I know.
Maturity.
I know. Leave vultures alone. How dare you? How dare you insult vultures?
My bad.
Like
that is an insult. I'm sorry.
And I apologize to coins. All right, let's play.
That too. And copper and silver, all minerals.
Leave asses alone, Jesse. How dare you? Leave that ass alone. All right, let's play. Here we go.
Sure. I'm just saying it's easy to say screw everybody, I'm done, and then just sit there and bitch. They want me off the air because I've always gone in to take over the Republican Party and put our ideology of 1776 in there because ideology wins. We just can't oppose the globalists. We have to then have an ideology that is better than theirs that sells. You can't just be against a product. Argument. You've got to have a product to run against it. You can't just say I'm against that race car driver and then not put your own NASCAR in on the you can't just be playing football and then not have your 11-person team. Since we mentioned Nick Fuentes, here's Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, he doesn't talk like this, but now what if he became Mark Levin? We switched their brains. He's like, oh, Alex, I love Alex, and we love you too, Nick, but what are you doing sucking the wiener at J.D. Vance? Well, are you for Rubio? Or, no, you're just done with them all. You're going to get conned by him again? I didn't get conned. I thought Trump did better than I thought the first 6 months, then I've been on his ass. But, I mean, would a J.D. Vance be better than Rubio? Would he be better than Mondami? Answer my question, Mickey. But let's go ahead.
Yeah, that's tactica there.
The big news is that J.D. Vance, Tucker Carlson, in an interview with Alex Jones, clarified that, yes, of course, he will be supporting J.D. Vance in 2028. Big surprise. So we'll talk all about that. We'll get into that as well. Alex Jones is right there with them. And I love Alex, and he's my guy, and he's the #1 OG. But it's like, bro, we can't keep falling for it. How do we keep falling for it? Every year, every cycle. Well, you hear what Trump's been saying lately? Sounds pretty good. Oh, you hear what Trump's been saying? No, these sounds great. I think it's going to be a golden age. No, really, I think it'll actually be different this time. Wait a second, they're bombing Iran? What is going on? I can't believe this turn of events. Wait a second, did you hear what J.D. Vance just said? Sounds pretty good. I think this time it's going to be different. It's really going to be a golden age. Wait, you're telling me that his chief of staff is a Tikva Fund fellow and a Jew? And David Sachs is going to be his chief of staff in the White House? Who could have predicted that? It's just so it's so tiresome.
And Nick sounds quite a bit different than what he sounds like when he's actually on InfoWars. He kind of, it's not about tone and him yelling and doing his performative TV show thing, right? It's more so like the actual content is actually quite different. He actually like looks for room to protect, at least some of the interviews I've seen, to protect Trump on InfoWars. J.D. Vance, maybe not so much. I've heard less of that. I heard more of Trump stuff, right? He'll actually like change his actual assessments around for for the Alex Jones show because maybe he's trying to appeal to his audience to gain followers, which to me is like that's like lying. In fact, I would just say it is lying. That's a lying thing to do. once again, I get it if you change the performative thing around, you're not so, hey, soliloquy of my rage, right? But the sentiment, the core of it should be the same. That should never change, honestly. Well, it could change, but like not from like show to show. It shouldn't change like that way. So thus, I'm sure you'll be invited on Alex Jones or Infowars or AlexJonesLive.com, whatever the fuck it's called now. I'm sure you'll be invited back on. Just keep, forget about the energy. Keep the concepts the same. Go there. And also the kind of side narrative of, hey, I predicted that J.D. Vance is a technocrat and David Sachs and Peter Thiel and all that stuff. Is like, even on that, I mean, I guess compared to the internet, you're kind of early, but overall, not that, it's not yours exactly. Let's hit play. Here we go.
Sometimes we just gotta realize we're being played for suckers here. So
I agree.
Okay, so in fairness to Nick, I mean, he's not overall completely wrong. Nick did call it a year before the election that he would go to war with Iran. He didn't do it the first time. I thought Trump would do better, but I knew it was a threat, and I said that, and I agreed, because I knew the Israel lobby was even stronger this time because the Democrats were gotten so weak. Trump didn't know what he was doing before, kind of went in on his own. Israel-backed groups kind of came in to give him the lay of the land,
excuses,
and be his guide,
excuses.
Lewis and Clark, and tried to end up becoming the boss. But I wasn't naive about all this. I was concerned the whole time.
That was a mouthful.
And I've been saying, let's get in there and get Trump to course correct and get off of Israel's control. That's not me being reconned by Trump. That's me in there battling to get him back on track. When we do that, it at least moves the needle sometimes completely back. So, Nick, that's...
Well, Alex, your argument, you have to actually establish that this guy means to do the right thing by the American people, as you might call it. You have to actually establish that first, and that has not been established anywhere. The best they've done is say, well, immigration is the best they've done for all these little content creators as far as argumentation for why Trump is a well-meaning, trying to do his best president, but he's, he got tricked, or he got, he did miscalculation, made a mistake, right? It's not good enough. Not good enough for what we're witnessing. But don't worry, Alex won't bother to explain that at all. And Nick won't bother to call that out. And Tucker won't bother to call that out either.
The audience, you will drop in.
You'll hear more wisdom from the audience, Joe. I'll be honest with you. Not everyone, not majority, but few and far between. Like, hey, Alex, why the fuck are you doing this when this guy did this? And that's enough wisdom to break their whole little world, but doesn't get enough attention, doesn't get looked at hard enough by the other audience members, and thus we end up here, right? So it's a few and far between scenario, as usual. But yeah, unfortunately, guys that are maybe locked in this world's bubble, you're stuck with Alex, Tucker, and Nick Fuentes. And that's, I guess, Candace too. And Jimmy Dore, add him in there. So thus, you guys are, if you're doing that without being critical of what you're watching and witnessing, you're fucked. You are so fucked. But if you, once again, if you can think about it and be critical, you're kind of winning just by seeing what you, kind of the, affirmations through negation, right? Of understanding, like, hey, this is not it. Thus, you're kind of leading towards an affirmation that might actually be legit, based on what you want to see, or based on what you truly believe, like deep down. There is a win there for people that can critically think, but how many people are doing that? Yum yum yum. All right, let's hit play. I guess it's probably going to an ad soon. Let's hit play. Here we go.
On track. When we do that, it at least moves the needle sometimes completely back.
Move Trump
so, Nick, that's misrepresentation. Now, saying again that I would rather have a J.D. Vance over Marco Rubio, I mean, because there's no Democrat candidate I would even vote for. I understand your thought process. Punish them. I have a different thought process of get what I can get and then lobby more and more and get better candidates in the future. So it's really overall a straw man. Now, I'm not mad at Nick. I'm not saying he's wrong. I get his perspective, but we're not naive. We're not being suckered again. That's not what's happening here.
Hi, folks.
And there's your ad. Got it. Okay. Alex's argument is once again, Sam Cedar, Kyle Kulinski, TYT, old TYT, used to be TYT. I don't know. Kind of in that lane.
Don't worry, they don't.
And Nick's argument, I guess, is kind of Jimmy Dorish, I guess, in that direction. But the names I'm saying right now are no sense of lending towards credibility at all in my worldview. With us, yeah, it's not looking good. Like this to me, this video is like quite important actually to showcase. Once again, they know Trump's administration has been a car crash, right? Like they're all there now. They have to be. Unless you're Mark Levin. Actually, for him, it's kind of a car crash, too, actually, because if Trump's rhetoric is saying, let's end the war, actually a car crash for him. And thus, you're going to see scrambling for solutions, not because they want to fix the fucking thing or get it right. It's more so like, hey, the audience notices that something's not right. So you know what? We need to like provide a solution to them. And thus, watching these kind of solutions play out is quite interesting to say from an analytical perspective. I'd say. And also, the main thing, in my opinion at least, or one of the main things, psychology, right? How does the audience accept these guys' answers after they led them here in the first place? Maybe Nick didn't vote for Donald Trump in his second term, but he did vote for him in the first term and campaign for him too. From that to J.D. Vance to Marjorie Taylor Greene, on to name the names, like you can keep going. When Tucker was nice to Nick, Nick is nice back. Until Tucker wasn't so nice to him, now he's like, oh, fuck you, Tucker, which sounds more about your personal thing rather than like the ultimate goal of getting a better world based on your perspective, right? So it's like there's a lot of moving part, a lot of things here that should be like a heads up and IQ test for how full of shit these motherfuckers are. It just makes it so blatant to me. And yes, it's not like what Alex says about like pick this team or that team. We need this kind of duopoly thing happening. We need that. You don't have to do that with your own actual view, like watching of news. It doesn't have to be Alex Jones or TYT or, whatever. Candace Owens versus Ben Shapiro. It doesn't have to be like that kind of, false dichotomy, shot the metric. It doesn't have to be that.
Candace Owens versus the Talmud.
Yeah. Or 1v1ing in the Talmud.
Yeah.
You could, I would say, expand. You can pick into like watch whatever the fuck you want to watch. Just don't watch it as a lame. Think about it. And that's all I can say about that. I'll leave it there. There's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree or disagree. Let it be known in the comment section. From Tucker and I guess support for J.D. Vance to the dynamic I just brought up right there of like, here's our bubbles, here's our culture warriors or whatever, right? Here's our figureheads. And hey, man, do you have ideas where it's like, man, this is something worth critiquing or something worth following? I'll hear that out too, man. I'm not trying to fully dehumanize these motherfuckers, bro. Like I'm not trying to dismiss them as full wrong no matter what. 24/7. It's more so I'm just hearing what I'm hearing and reacting to it. And I want you to do the same from me to Alex to Tucker to Nick Fuentes to whoever. Please let it be known in the comment section. Don't forget or else. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We're in that Discord right now. All admins are welcome. And obviously, everything I showed you will be linked in that same description box for you to look at on your own and study and rabbit hole. And these things we just went over, like quite shallow, in my opinion, of topics. But if you have, your wits with you, you can find more to it. I mean, that's what I feel like I found when looking at any of this content. I feel like I find more than just what's being said on screen and what I see on camera. But, I'll leave the options there for you. You can go look at it, for yourself. Most importantly, with all that said, give this video a thumbs down. Peace out.
Like, subscribe to Alex Jones.